Good afternoon, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back once again, back with you on February the 11th. This is a very, very warm and very, very nasty day here in Southern Virginia. The weather here is very warm. Current temperature, give you guys an idea. No, not relax. That's about all you can do today is relax. Current temperature is 66 degrees under really cloudy and very rainy skies. And I gotta be perfectly honest, every single one of my joints is hurting me right now. And it's not just me. Mom and Dad have been saying the same thing. They've been complaining of sore joints, sore backs, sore necks, sore almost everything. So that being said, my appetite is ebbing towards the junkier side. So those of you that follow me on here for health and fitness advice, don't listen to anything I have to say today. Honestly, nothing I'm eating today is good. I'm actually munching on some of this kettle corn. This is the stuff that I got when I was at the Virginia Motorsports Park in Doswell. Yeah, I'm just in the mood for junk food. I really don't care today, to be honest with you. Some days, especially days like this, and Mom rightfully said it, when the weather's nasty, when, you really just don't feel all that great. Sometimes you just need some good old comfort food. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I am going to do later on, since I've eaten pretty much junk food all morning, I've had chocolates, I've had ice cream, I've had kettle corn, all this sugary stuff. I am going to fast as of 1 p.m. So I'm not going to eat anything after 1 today. And then I'm going to go ahead and wait till breakfast. So I'll mitigate any damage I do to my waistline. But once again, sometimes you just need to do this. And I'm telling you, this is actually really good stuff. I wish I got the business card, because the lady that sells this there, when she makes it, she uses no butter and a whole batch of it. There's only 1 cup of sugar. So this is actually technically fairly healthy for you. And she uses organic ingredients too. It's so good. I've not had kettle corn in years. Mark Covington says, "Howdy, Matt. Guess who?" Yep. I guessed right. Eric's Friday Channel. You managed to catch me on lunch. How do you like this, Eric? You ever have kettle corn? One of my go-to comfort foods. That'd be a good topic. Everybody is here. What is your go-to comfort food? Like on days when you just kind of feel blah and you don't really want to eat healthy, you feel like having some junk food. What's your go-to comfort food? Mine is usually things like popcorn, ice cream. A lot of people in the past have told me their go-to comfort food is pizza or burgers, which I can't eat burgers because I can't eat beef anymore. And never was much of a pizza fan, though I do like a good New York style pizza. So it has to be thin crust, really, really good marinara sauce. And it has to have a good amount of cheese. And that is my biggest beef with Pizza Hut. I like Pizza Hut's pizzas, but for whatever reason, the one near us, they don't always put enough cheese on. And to me, that's a deal breaker. Mark Covington goes, cookies. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of with my mom on that one. My mother loves cookies. Kettle corn is awesome, Eric said. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And it makes me eat too much of it. I'll probably polish this bag off, and then that'll be it for me today. Probably, realistically, excuse me, even though I'm eating a lot of junk food, even after polishing this bag off, when I calculate everything I've eaten, probably going to be around 3,000, maybe 3,500 calories. And I will burn that off today because I'm going to be doing my exercises and I'm still going to fast. And that's the thing you have to remember. Whenever you're dieting or lifestyle change, whatever you want to call it, the most important thing is to burn off more than you take in. It almost doesn't even really matter the type of food you eat. Yes, you want to eat healthy. You don't want to be pigging out every day on junk food or comfort food, as some people like to call it. But even if you did, it still is the old adage. If you're working off more calories than you're ingesting, you're going to lose weight. I mean, that's just the way it works. And the intermittent fasting definitely helps. And like I said, I'm going to stop eating around, well, probably say around 12:30 or 1 today, and then I won't eat again until tomorrow morning. So you figure if I eat at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so that's what, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, that's about 20-hour fast, and that'll work off all the extra food that I ingested this morning. Good one, Eric. Eric says, my comfort, excuse me, I'm sorry. I do, if I eat and talk, you'll see a little spittle come out. I apologize in advance for that. My comfort food is Chinese food. I love Chinese food myself, too. My old go-to comfort Chinese food was always sweet and sour chicken. Not sweet and sour pork. Never liked sweet and sour pork. But sweet and sour chicken, always great. What's your favorite, Eric? I'm curious since you're here. He goes, when Rotella died, I ended up at a Chinese buffet. That's the grief. You ever hear the grief buffet? I kid you not. There are, I think, I want to say it was on Roseanne when one of their family members died. I think it was her dad. Everybody brought over a dish for the wake. And she literally called it the grief buffet because inevitably when there's a death in the family, it doesn't have to be a human death. It could be a death of a pet. We want to eat. Grief always seems to manifest itself in gluttony, which is kind of ironic when you think about it biblically. Grief and gluttony going together. I don't know. Only in the human condition could that be true, honestly. I won a prize. I guess Mark will tell me what that is later on for having the third live stream. Well, I wanted to do something today, and I didn't know if I'd be up to doing it later on. I've got plenty of energy now, probably a sugar rush from all this stuff. So I figured we'd go ahead and do something now, especially during the lunch hour. Those of you that want to be here during lunch hour, that's great. Eric's Friday channel. Pepper steak is one of mine, but beef and broccoli is a favorite. I used to love the barbecue boneless spare ribs, but I don't eat pork anymore. And that's interesting, Eric. It's interesting you brought that up because before I gave up eating beef, the pepper steak and onions were one of my favorites. I used to get that all the time. As a matter of fact, the one near us, the Chinese food restaurant near us, the takeout, made the best pepper steak and onions I ever had. So I actually have given that up, but I do still eat boneless barbecue spare ribs on occasion. Though, if memory serves, I did see a documentary that said a lot of the boneless spare ribs are made using a lot of sugar, and even worse than that, the sweeteners they use have high fructose corn syrup. So once again, I'm not telling you can't ever eat it, but this is comfort food. We're talking today about comfort food. Nothing that we're listing here is something you're going to want to eat on a daily basis because this is the kind of stuff that is going to pack the pounds on. What kind of cookies does your mother love? Okay. You know the Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies? You guys, if you've ever bought Girl Scout cookies, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Aldi has the equivalent of them that they sell, and that's her favorite ones. It's basically generic Thin Mints that you can get at Aldi. She likes chocolate chip cookies somewhat. Now, me personally, I'm not a big chocolate chip cookie eater. I like oatmeal raisin cookies, and more specifically, the Mrs. Fields oatmeal raisin cookies, the ones that are really soft. You've probably seen them in Dollar Tree. You can get them like a 3-pack for $1. Unbelievably good. One of my absolute favorite types of cookies. I'm making a mess down here too, by the way. I'm going to have to run the vacuum cleaner. That's the one reason I don't usually eat popcorn in my room, because you wind up making a huge mess on the floor. I gotta see who this is. I'm expecting somebody to pick up a computer today, so let me just check and see who called. No idea. Oh, I think I know who that is. 7 watchers. Now, I really need to be careful because if I do put any weight back on, then this shirt ain't going to fit anymore. Tyler goes, hey, Matt, how's it going? Pretty good. Eating junk food today. I'm off my lifestyle change today, or diet, as you guys might want to call it. Yeah, I really don't care. I'm feeling pretty good today, right? At least right now. Earlier, I was kind of moody. I get into these moods sometimes where you don't want to be around me. And this might be the Asperger's. It might be, just me having a bad day. But when I first wake up in the morning, see if you guys can relate to this. When I first wake up in the morning, before I have my first cup of coffee, you don't want to know me. You don't want to talk to me, because if you talk to me, I'll bite I don't want to use that word, but yeah, I'll bite your head off figuratively. In other words, I am inconsolable before my first cup of coffee. And that, again, I think is the caffeine addict in me, but that's just the way it is, folks. Some of us really are not morning people. There you go. Tyler goes, I'm moody quite a bit. I think we all are, especially in this day and age. I read somewhere that there is more stress in the country now than there has ever been, which actually doesn't make sense to me, because for the most part, the economy is better than it has been in years. People make more money. Yeah, granted, we're not healthy right now as a society, but, our quality of life is generally good. But what actually does it, what actually makes us stressed out, are things like this: social media addiction, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Hulu. I know, right? Why am I telling you this? Because this is just going to negatively impact me if I tell you to not watch YouTube or go on Facebook anymore, or at least for a while. But believe it or not, social media blackout times, in other words, taking a break from all social media, will, on average, make you a happier person, because that is really what's stressing us out now. Look it up. It's called social media addiction. It really, it's a real thing, and it's really hurting a lot of people these days. William McCullough goes, intermittent fasting works. Yes, I remember that discussion we had last time. You told me you've been doing, I think you said you lost something like 30 pounds. It's amazing, folks. Intermittent fasting lets your body work through all the calories you've ingested that day. It basically is like a cleanse. It's a daily cleanse. You've heard of juice cleanses. You've heard of colon cleansing, like the stuff you can get at GNC, the powder. Forget that stuff. You don't need it. Intermittent fasting does the same thing. And I'll give you a perfect example. I have not been good lately. Not really. I mean, I've been eating junkier food. And although I'm doing the intermittent fasting, because of the intermittent fasting, I got on the scale this morning. I was 213 pounds. I got down 5 pounds over the last couple of weeks just by intermittent fasting. Not necessarily eating the best foods, but that intermittent fasting is what does it. Now, I still need to go down a few more. I really would like to get to I'd like to see 205 again. 205 was my lowest weight ever. And at that, I was super thin. Like my face, you could tell I looked anemic. Like my face, you could see all my veins coming out of my chin and everything. I'd just like to see it again. I don't think it's realistic, to be honest with you. I've talked to my doctor and I've done health weight charts, and for my body and my physical size, my ideal weight is anywhere between 204 to 210. So average at about 208 pounds. So if you look at it that way, only got to lose about 5 pounds. But for me, my ultimate goal, I would still like to get down to 205 pounds. I know I said in the past I really wanted to get down to 200. I don't think it's going to happen, folks. I just don't see my body maintaining that weight. Tyler goes, yep, I drink a lot of rum. That's kind of part of it to get used to it. Rum. Oh, boy. Man, be careful with that stuff. And I'm saying that because I come from a alcoholic background. Not me personally. I've never had problems with it, but mine was always food. Food was always my drug of choice. But there's been alcoholism, especially in my family, on my mom's side. Hope they don't mind me saying that, but it can creep up on you. You can think you're perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden, you realize something happens, and you realize that you are an alcoholic. You can fast. Mark Covington asked, you can fast things that are not food. Usually that has a spiritual aspect to it. So you could fast TV, you could fast internet, you could fast the social media. Fasting is not necessarily food-based. Fasting is doing without something for a certain period of time. Eric's Friday channel, dang, they just released 20% off coupon for all Icon tools at Harbor Freight. Why must I be poor right now? Oh, man, Eric, you're preaching to the choir. Though I do not need to buy tools, mainly because I have a good collection of tools myself. Not the highest end stuff, but good for what I do it for. And as a family, we own every single tool out there, and probably 2, 3, 4 times them. In other words, doubles, triples, quadruples. So I'm not looking to buy tools anytime soon, unless it's something specific. Like I may have to do rear brakes on my LeSabre soon. And if I decide I want to do them myself, I don't want to pay someone to do them, then I do have to get a special tool to take off the rear caliper. Other than stuff like that, I'm not looking to buy any tools anymore either. I'm sorry. Tyler goes, it runs in the family. Yeah, sadly, it runs in our family too. Oh, that is a good point, Eric. I didn't even think about it that way. He goes, I can buy them for the business right now. Yeah, and you can write them off, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not a financial expert here, but generally when you purchase items for a business, the way I've seen it done is you get like a business credit card, and that business credit card generally has a slightly lower interest rate than a personal one would. So you have the benefit there, and then you can write off those tools at the end of the year as a business expense. But I would recommend going through an accountant. Even for my purposes, I always use an accountant for taxes because it's complicated and the rules change every single year. But yeah, you should be able to write that off just fine. Is there any such thing as fasting from buying things you don't need? I guess it could be. I mean, like I said, fasting, I'll say it one more time. Fasting is stopping something that you do for a certain period of time. That's exactly what it is. Something that you need to stop doing altogether, or something that you don't want to do as much. That's exactly what fasting is. Tyler, the GPU went out on my iMac. Won't be doing videos too much anymore. Man. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I that's why I don't like the all-in-one computers. And it's not just Macs. It's the HP Envy all-in-ones or the Dell Inspiron ones, as they call them. There's too little space in there for cooling, and I've seen it. I mean, almost every time a customer brings me a computer that's an all-in-one, it's on its last legs. And that's why I don't like that trend that we're going to. And if you go into places like Best Buy, Office Max, Office Depot, Staples, that's the trend. There are very few actual desktop computers like this anymore. And they're all these all-in-ones. And they still have not gotten it right. And they can't really, because an all-in-one is just like it's just like a laptop. There's not enough room to cool all the components properly, and they're not designed to be used, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And that's why when I talk to my customers, I say, look, if you're going to buy a computer and it's going to pretty much stay in one spot, you're not going to need that portability. And it's something you're going to use, 13, 14 hours a day. And a lot of my customers do. I mean, they're business clients. Then I say, yes, get a desktop. Don't get a laptop. Don't get an all-in-one. Get a old school or the classic mini or micro tower, as we call it, like I have back there, like my Dell XPS 8700. It's going to last a lot longer. William McCullough, chocolate cake and cupcakes and pizza, not all at once. Yeah, I think that would give you a pretty bad stomach ache. I know it would with me. I don't mind chocolate cake, though. I'm more of a vanilla person. I've always liked vanilla over chocolate. And a case of Pepsi. Okay. There's that old adage, Pepsi versus Coke, Coke versus Pepsi. How many guys remember RC Cola? That was my favorite back years ago when I actually drank soda. Now the only soda I drink once in a while is Sprite Zero or the Sierra Mist Zero. Basically the same thing, just a lemon lime. But there's another thing you got to remember. A lot of people consider diet soda to be good because it's got no sugar, and in that aspect it is, but it also has either NutraSweet or Splenda. So what is that? Splenda is Splenda. NutraSweet is like in equal, and I can't think of the name of it, the chemical name for it. But anyway, they're very unhealthy for you. There's studies out there that have shown these sugar substitutes can cause strokes, and that's the main thing. They can actually adjust and alter your brain chemistry and make you more susceptible to stroke. So I'm not saying don't ever drink diet sodas, but if you do, just limit it. Maybe have 1 or 2 a week. Don't be drinking like 3 or 4 bottles a day like some people in this household used to do. Eric's Friday channel, I occasionally bring up RC Cola to the youngins because we have a customer named RC Auto Repair. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. RC Cola is good, but it's very sweet. I mean, you think Pepsi Cola is sweet? RC Cola is super sweet. I mean, like maybe 15 times sweeter, in my opinion, than Pepsi. Hey, Matt, what is the easiest way to copy all your files from an old computer to your refurbished computer? Okay. A couple ways you can do it. If the old computer is still hooked up and working, I like to just use a flash drive. Get one of those USB flash drives, put it in, or an external hard drive, whichever one you have, and then just copy and paste your files from the old computer to that external drive, flash drive or hard drive. Make sure you run a virus scan first. You don't want to infect your new computer. Then go ahead and just move it over to the new PC and just copy them back onto that one. So basically copy and pasting. I know most people know how to do that. If the old computer is not working anymore, then your best bet is to find somebody like me who has a dedicated data backup computer with the software that can pull off the data from the old hard drive. So basically, I'd have to take the computer, remove the old hard drive, hook it up to my drive toaster there, and then I'd be able to do that myself. But I use special software that makes sure everything gets backed up. When you do it yourself, there's a chance you might miss some pictures, documents, and music, things like that. With my software, I can get all of it backed up. Eat to live, not live to eat. That is a great slogan. And I think that's something that we don't do anymore. We definitely live to eat. In other words, we as a society love to eat. We love our food. And I'm guilty of it too. I mean, look at me today. Look at my gluttonous appetite today. I have bad days, but the idea is you want to mitigate the damage that you do after the bad days. Like tomorrow, it's going to be game on. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to eat as healthy as possible. Maybe intermittent fast again tomorrow. I'm still eating now, so I'm probably going to stop eating today at 1, and that'll be fine. But once again, as long as you are good most of the time, then yeah, you'll lose weight. It's just the way it works. Love my coffee, by the way. This is that McCafe Winter Wonderland. When I got at the variety store when I was working for Mike and Jen in Afton. Oh, that stuff is so addictive. I'm telling you, coffee is really addictive. Anything with caffeine in it is. Aspartame. That's it. Eric said it. I couldn't think of what it was called. Yeah, it's aspartame. It looks like you're allergic to it, so that's good. You can actually get Royal Crown on Amazon. It's expensive as frig, though. I can find it locally. Our local 7-Eleven carries RC Cola. Yeah, Mark. I'll get back. I'll get up with you sometime this week. I'm trying to get my schedule together. Yeah, we'll work on that. I have so many furnace. What's the ad? I have so many things that are going on right now. So many feet in the flames. So many fires to put out that I'm not really taking on any more projects at the moment. I have a lot of repair work going on, and I'm still refurbishing those computers. If you don't believe me, check it out right over there, right near where Baxter's sleeping on the bed. That's another one of those. That one's a Dell Optiplex 720 that I'm just about finished with. And by the way, isn't that cute? You got Baxter there, and you got Milo over there that the monitor's kind of obstructing him, but they're being lazy too. And like I said, I woke up this morning with the worst aches and pains. My lower back, my arms, my neck, every muscle in my body was just hurting. And even though that was the case, I still did my morning workouts. And that's the thing. As we get older, and I know a bunch of you out there can relate to this because some of you are older than I am, some of you are younger than I am. But as you age, you get a lot of aches and pains. And a lot of times there's nothing you can do with it. It comes with age. And yeah, granted, probably if I took better care of myself in my younger years, I probably wouldn't have as many, though. I do still consider myself blessed because I know people that are my age or maybe even a little younger and were always fit. They were, they were athletes in high school and they have way more aches and pains than I do. Their knees are shot from playing, football. Their backs are done. So I guess in a way I am kind of blessed that I don't have more, but on like moist, humid days, I do get a lot of pains, especially in my lower back. But again, that's everybody. Everybody in the house, dad, mom, we're all hurting. I think the cats probably are too. Yeah, I think I do have your phone number, Mark, but don't put it here. PM. You can try and PM it to me later through Facebook Messenger. But once again, I'm not sure if I can do anything this week. We're really, really busy around the house now. It's not just that, but we're rescreening the entire house. We actually finished my room yesterday. If you remember, I haven't had that window open lately. Well, that's because the birds went there and they pecked through and put a big hole in the screen. It was the same thing with the screens over there. See, in my room, I have that window there, and they have two windows right there. And the only screen that was actually still good was the one that's right there, right by that monitor there. So I had no choice. I mean, I had to get this done. So Dad's actually been rescreening them. He's really good at that, way better than I am. and I've been pulling him out of the windows. And when he's done, I'll just put him back. And whole process, I'd say each one takes maybe a half an hour. So we have 26 windows in the house. So I can do the math right now. So let's see, 26 times 30, that's 780 minutes. So how would you do that? So what is it? 60 minutes in an hour times 24 hours. So you figure about half that. It probably would take us, if we did it straight, about 12 or 13 hours to get the whole house redone. But of course, we can't do that. I mean, it's really taxing on our back. He's got this little table set up in the garage, and it's not ideal, but it is working. Very good. Eric actually messaged me last night, asked me if I had any more of those Panasonic Tough Books, which I don't. I sold out of those things real quick. He was looking for one of those for his new shop, but apparently got a good deal on an i7 Mac Mini. Those are great. I would always recommend those. Even though they are technically like a ultra small form factor, they don't tend to have the same heating problems. Apple did a really good job designing those Mac Minis. Matter of fact, I know a lot of people that have them, and I've never heard of one going bad because of heat-related issues. Although, I will say, I don't think I've ever run an i7 Mac Mini. All mine were like i4. Wake up, hello, i5s and a few i3s. And Core 2s, the older ones. So, I would probably still make sure you have a lot of cooling with that, because I've been burned so many times with i7 processors in small form factor PCs, whether it be laptops, ultra small form factor desktops. They just put out a lot of heat, and I never thought it was a good idea for them to put i7s in such a small form factor. Eric goes, I feel your pain. I have a house I grew up in, 33 windows, and we had to do screens on them, at least half of them. I wouldn't want to do it. Matter of fact, we've only done to be honest, if I gotta be perfectly honest, we've only done 6 screens. We've done 3 in my room, and then I think the 3 in the, wait a minute, 5. With the 3 in my room and 2 in the kitchen downstairs. I was thinking 6 because there is technically 3 windows in the kitchen area, but one was already rescreened years ago due to our neighbor's cat literally jumping up from the ground and digging in. I mean, we saw the cat do this. It jumped up, grabbed the screen, and you know how cats do? And it just fell down with its claws and ripped our screen totally open. Our neighbor felt so bad at the time that he actually rescreened. He had a friend of his rescreen it for us. So we've done 5. Mark, it's now raining pretty hard here in Newport News. Actually, I think the rain stopped here, to be honest with you. They said it was going to be kind of off and on today, though. When it was on, it was going to be very, very heavy. Okay, I have a quick question. The live stream, the rant live stream that I did yesterday, I think quite a few of you that are here now saw that one. And some of you commented to me that you actually liked the quality of that one better. And I was blown away because what I was actually streaming on was that. I mean, that's that Dell Optiplex 3020, that Core i3. And all I was using was the old Logitech C920 Pro webcam with the built-in speakers. Let me know which one looks better. If that actually looked and sounded better, then I need to figure out what's going on here, because this Yeti microphone is way, way far superior to the microphone that's built into there. So if that's the case, then there's something going on with this Dell XPS 8700 that I'm unaware of. So let me know if those of you that are still here now that saw that live stream yesterday, either when I was doing it live or other words, let me know. Yeah, Jeff said the other one is way better. I don't get it, because in all aspects, the setup I have here is far superior than what that is. So something's going on. I need to make sure that I need to make sure that everything is updated on here. And you got to remember something too. The way this computer is situated, I have to use artificial lighting, whereas with that other one, I was using a natural lighting. It was much better lighting, much more crisp and clear. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's the lighting. I'm going to have to figure out something different. I may be, if that's the case, I may be switching this up a little bit. I may need to just move this setup over to the i3. Because apparently, you know, for live streaming, that computer did a great job. I mean, that's a 4th gen i3, 4160. Even though this is an i7, you know, the lighting's better over there. I might just go ahead and try that again. But I think, oh, yeah, everybody seems to think that was better. And Mark says he thinks about the same. I think what I'll do for the next live stream, I'll move the Yeti mic. I'll move the Yeti mic over there, but I'll keep that using other webcams. To be perfectly honest with you, there really isn't that much difference between this one, the 922 streamer, and the 920. It's very, very minuscule difference. Matter of fact, if I knew that, I probably wouldn't have bought this one. But yeah, I need to figure something else out because you know, and it's funny because looking at me here right now, I look good, but when I rewatch these live streams later on, I agree with you guys. I noticed that I look kind of washed out. So, we'll figure something out. You know, it's all good. It's always a learning process. And by the way, I said this in the last live stream and I'll say it again. If you guys can pick one of these keyboards up, these things are awesome. This is the Logitech K750. My mind just went blank. Solar powered keyboard. You can see the solar panels here and here, and it's got a rechargeable battery. And if you push this button right there, it'll tell you if the light's good enough for charging. So see right now I push that, it gives you the green light and the smiley face. Well, if I turn the light off and I push it, you can see that it gives me the red light, which tells me it's not charging. Now, I don't usually like chiclet style keyboards, but to be honest with you, this one is very comfortable to type on. Now, I got 2 of these brand new at our local thrift store, CHKD thrift store, for really good price. I think I got them for like $4 or $5 a piece, but you can still get these things online. And technically they are Mac only, but as many Mac only peripherals do, these will work just fine with a PC. Although, what is it? Option or control? The Windows key is the control button, or the command button, but it even has that little, what do you call it? Like a little pinwheel that you see on the Mac. So you just have to remember some of the specialty buttons for the Mac and figure out what they're going to be for the PCs. But if you have a Mac, highly recommend this keyboard. Popcorn and coffee, the brunch of champions. Amen to that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and have another sip of my coffee here. Jeff, have you experienced any issues with Windows 10 lately? After a few of the latest upgrades, nothing is working right. Office keeps freezing and the sound of my laptop stopped working completely. No, I haven't actually had any problems with Windows 10, but if you are having an issue like that, especially if it's limited to one particular computer, wipe it. A lot of times Windows will degrade over time, even though Windows 10 is much better than earlier versions like Windows 7 and 8. After a while, the OS will just get corrupted. So what I would suggest, back up your data, put it on a flash drive, an external hard drive, whatever you have, and do a clean install with the latest update. I can almost guarantee you that's going to fix your problem. Eric goes, I'm going to go. I'm going to end up getting a rugged keyboard for my shop setup. I'll bet. I know you're going to need it for that too. And you can always get those rubber keyboard covers. A lot of people forget that those actually exist. There are these little rubber dome covers you can get that'll cover over a normal keyboard. And a lot of shops use those because if you've ever seen a computer terminal, whatever, a workstation, whatever, in a automotive shop or a repair shop, They're disgusting. Matter of fact, a couple of the computers I got from this last haul, those Optiplexes, must have come from something like a woodworking shop. The dust in there was fine as could be. When I blew it out, it was unbelievable. It almost blew out and was almost like ink. Like, how toner's a great example. You know how toner gets on everything and the only way to get it off is to vacuum it up? That's exactly what that was caked in. So it was either in something like a woodworking shop where they had maybe sawdust that got some black paint mixed in with it, or very well could have been from like a printing shop, and it literally was toner that was caked in there. It's not one computer. Both are pretty fresh installs. My desktop is only 3 months old. The internet is flooded with Windows complaints due to the Windows latest updates. Interesting. No, I've not had any problems, and I've done no less than 50 Windows installs over the past month because of all those computers that I got, and they all have the latest version, which I got to look up and see what it is. I honestly don't remember. What's the latest build here? 19 something. No, it's not. I have 18363. No, let me do WinVer. Oh, WinVer, that's it. 1909, I think, is the latest one, and no problems at all. So that's kind of odd. I would look to your install media. If you're using something like a flash drive and you use the Windows Media Creation tool to make that flash drive, then I would see about reflashing that. Maybe there's a corrupt file in there that's causing problems. 1909 is the latest build, if anybody's curious. That's the absolute latest. Jonathan Grindle, to me, ergonomic keyboards are disgusting, especially when the cherry keys. Disgusting, especially when they cherry keys in it. Interesting, because I always thought the cherry keys were pretty good, but no, I don't like ergonomic keyboards either. I'm so used to typing like this, and most ergonomic keyboards are at an angle, so you have to learn to type kind of like this. And it's very, very different. Now, if you grew up and your first computer had an ergonomic keyboard and that's what you're used to, then yeah, you're going to love it. You're going to say, oh my gosh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. But if you didn't grow up with that and you're trying to go to it, it's really hard to get used to. I'm telling you, I've had Microsoft ones like that, which are actually the best ergonomic keyboards, in my opinion. The Microsoft sliders or something they were called. But anyway, yeah, if you didn't grow up with it, you're not going to like it. Everything worked great until the last cumulative update on Tuesday. Never had any issues. Man, Jeff, I'm at a loss because I have all the latest updates on my computers. No, I don't. Actually, this one did. I apologize. That was me. This one does not have the latest cumulative update. I'm not going to do it then. Now, I know that those do. The new ones that I just did the installs on, those do have the latest updates, and they seem to be working fine. So I appreciate the warning there. If that's the case, you may want to avoid updating to the latest cumulative update from Microsoft, though it's very hard to do in Windows 10. If Microsoft's going to push it on you when you least expect it. Said, just be careful. Thanks. I appreciate that. Matter of fact, you earn yourself a moderator position for that one. Thank you, Jeff. Eric's Variety Channel. I still run a basic IBM keyboard from the 90s. Model M keyboard, maybe? I had to look there, to be honest with you, Eric. I couldn't remember if I ever made you a moderator. Apparently I did, but if those of you that have been with my channel for a long time and you want a moderator position during my live streams, just let me know. Chances are I'll grant it because you guys are great. I've had the same people come to these for a long time, and yeah, if you want that position, I'm good with that. Well, I don't think I'm going to get to finishing it all off today, though, folks. Almost 1 o'clock, and I got to stop eating and drinking at 1. Well, I say, and drinking anything but water. Rubber zone. Okay. Hang on a second. Okay. Here you go, Mark. You can absolutely be a moderator. Well, I think I'm going to end it here, folks. 45 minutes in. We had some fun. My dad must be printing something. I just heard my LaserJet printer spin up. I'm going to end it here. I actually want to go ahead and polish off a little bit more of this popcorn, but I got to do it before 1. 1 o'clock is my cutoff time for eating today, so maybe 1 or 2 more questions. I'm going to end things here. I just watched a dude who had a 7 feet tall get into a Pontiac G6. Oh my gosh. I don't know how that worked. All right, everybody. That's it for this live stream. I'm done. I'm running out of topics to talk about. I'm glad you guys and gals came. Once again, moderator positions I will hand out mostly upon request, although if I think you might be a negative influence, I'll probably hold it off. So be super good at these live streams. Don't give me a reason not to make you a moderator, and you got the position. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.